Hi everyone, welcome to Sensational Shoulders, I'm calling this video. So this is a video for those of you that may have had a shoulder injury, recovering from a shoulder injury, or prevention of potential shoulder injuries. Anything that we do, be sure that you're not having increased pain with it. A little bit of pain, more tension than pain is okay. But increased pain, no. Just back off, don't go as far, don't go as deep, don't go as much into it, whatever works. All right, so there are many things that affect the shoulders. Come on up, Carl, here. The reason why the shoulders are a tricky joint is because, as you can see, we don't have, well, some of you might if you've had shoulder replacements, but most of us don't have these metal clips. And it is the head of the humerus, this is your humerus bone, and this is your acromion space in here where your clavicle meets and your scapula is here. And this is held, this head of the humerus is held up in this shoulder joint or the glenohumeral joint with a group of muscles called the rotator cuff. Now you also have your fascia, so there's a lot of things holding you together. And there's 5 different rotator cuff muscles. So there's a lot of microscopic and major tears that can happen in there. If you have a major tear, that's a whole different ball game. You need to be talking to an orthopedic surgeon. But if you have a minor tear or just a strain or fascial restriction, whatever, hopefully some of these exercises will help you. So what affects the shoulders? A lot of different things. This scapula or your shoulder blade, that needs to slide up and down freely on the ribs. But if you have any of these ribs in lesion, maybe they're stuck in external rotation, maybe they're stuck in internal rotation, maybe they're compacted, maybe they're compressed. There's all kinds of different rib lesions. Those are things that it's difficult to treat on your own, but come see an osteopath and we can help you with that. Your clavicle, if it doesn't move, and it needs to move a little bit, not a big movement, at the SC joint and at the AC joint. These joints have to be mobile. Everything has to work into synchronicity. The clavicle, the scapula, the ribs, everything has to move. It's just this beautiful system that has to be synchronized so that everything works wonderfully. The other thing that can throw your shoulder out is your lung, that's in here, inside the rib cage, and your heart. So if your lung does not externally rotate when you breathe in, that can restrict the shoulder. The heart, for example, it has to verticalize and tip forward in its as well as while it's pumping, of course. And if that is restricted or if it's sheared to one side from a fall or motor vehicle accident or a seatbelt injury, oh my, you're going to have shoulder and neck issues. Even the sternum comes into play. So there's a lot of lesions that can happen. Even the diaphragm, there's all kinds. But that needs to be addressed by an osteopath. So let's assume that you've had your treatment, and we need to do some exercises to help encourage your healing journey to continue. So I'm going to move Carl back out of the way, and of course the upper T-spines too needs to be free, and the C-spine. So we're going to get some exercises in, and then there'll be another video at another time on the T-spine as well as the C-spine. So we'll get those at another time. But today we're going to focus mostly on shoulders. All right, move Mr. Carl out of the way. So of course you want to warm up the shoulders, so maybe you just start with some raises, elevation, take it up, drop it down. Take it up and down. Now bring it up, now compress down. So you're seeing how your scapula move. Do they slide up? Do they slide down? How does that feel? Is that pain-free? That would be a good thing. Yes, it would. Can you circle back and be comfortable? That would be a good thing. Can you circle forward? Beautiful. Now, thoracic rotation or rotation in that upper back is so crucial for shoulder health. So you have to make sure that you can rotate. So you can take your feet wide, you can rotate palms to the ceiling. Make sure you lift the opposite heel so that you're rotating, not twisting. Now really push those arms back, and with your head you can turn over the right shoulder and eyes look over the right shoulder as well. And you want to do a few of those just to kind of get some mobility in that thoracic spine. And then we can repeat to the other side. Now ideally you would do this after you've done a little bit of a warm-up, maybe you've gone for a walk, but if if you have limited time, just do a couple quick warm-ups here. You notice how I'm lifting my opposite heel and I'm rotating rather than twisting my low back. And remember, the twist is happening here at the thoracic spine, not the lumbar spine. Good. Excellent. Now, we're going to take the right arm up, back, show the back of the hand, so it's external rotation and then internal rotation. Now, if you find this pattern painful, then do it at the level that is not painful. External rotation, internal rotation. Go through the range of motion. That feels good for you. As you can see, there could be some issues in the tissues here through the pec minor is muscle, but usually it's fascia, and that could be pulling on the lung, that might be a lesion, that could be pulling on the heart. Now I'm on I know it's mirror image, it looks like my right side, but it's actually my left. So what if my spleen was in lesion? What if my stomach was? All of that will affect my upper body. Again, that has to be determined by an osteopath. Good. And a full circle. Nice. Now let's try the other side. Back of the hand, show the palm. Back of the hand, make sure the shoulder's down. If you're hiking, that probably is telling you that that scapula, the core's not in control, and the scapula is just elevating kind of on its own, and we want to make sure that it can move, but it does this kind of movement, like that versus choop, like that, okay? So it's like an external rotation of that scapula. Good. Now again, on this side, it's mirror image, so it looks like my left. It's actually my right side. This can be affected by my right lung, my liver, my kidney, my diaphragm. All right, so just do both at the same time and notice how they feel, because we're going to reassess after we do these couple quick stretches. So the first one you're going to do is you're just going to create space. You're just going to externally rotate the arm, just create space. That's it, like you're making your arm longer. Just make your arm longer, just a little bit, just to kind of wake it up, wake up the tissue. Good. Excellent. Just making that arm longer. Now let's do the Eldoa for that. So we're going to turn our feet in, we're going to lock our knees out, we're going to externally rotate the left hand, and really pull the fingers back towards the forearm, chest lifted. Make your spine long. Here's the key to Eldoas. Top of the head to the ceiling, tailbone to the floor, making the spine long. Elongate the spine. Really push the top of the head to the ceiling. Now, the right arm, you're going to internally rotate it and externally rotate it. Where do you feel the tension? For me, it's right there, but maybe it's back here for you. And it's going to be different every time you do it. Yes, it is, because you're going to heal this layer right now, and then the next time you do it might be a different spot. So do what I'm saying versus watching me, because it's going to be different each time. So here's my spot. Might be different for you. Now, top of the head to the ceiling, push through the heel of the hand, push through the heel of this hand. Now push, push, push. Push, push, top of the head up, top of the head up, top of the head up, top of the head. You got it, you got it. Elongate, 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 elongate. That's it. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then when you get the release, bring the arms in one at a time. You can hold an Eldoa from 15 seconds to a minute. I'm not sure what these I mean help, but when I feel the release, I'm going to say, okay, you can release. But you may need it longer. All right, let's go to the left side. Now just create space, create space, create space. Make it longer, make it longer, make it longer. Just externally rotate that hand. And if you're finding that raising your arm, you hike up your shoulder and things aren't happy, then just take it to the level that you're not hiking. Keep your elbows straight. You're just making it long, creating space here in the glenohumeral joint. Good. Excellent. Shake it out. Okay, now let's do the Eldoa for the left. Turn both toes in, lock out the knees, externally rotate this arm, it stays down. Now lengthen through the spine, top of the head to the ceiling, tailbone to the floor. Externally rotate. Now, turn that arm in. Internal rotation. Now take it to external rotation. Where are you feeling tension? For me, it's right there. It might be different for you. Okay, here we go. Top of the head to the ceiling, tailbone to the floor, push through the heels of the hands. Push, 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 push. Come on, push, push. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Push harder, push harder, push harder. Breathe, 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 breathe. Good. Excellent. A little longer there. I'm feeling the release now. You might be able to see my arm lengthening. Bring one arm in at a time. Nice. Again, this is really focusing just on the glenohumeral joint, but we have other joints that affect the shoulders, the C-spine, the T-spine. We'll see those in other eldoas, but start with this. Now, you can go to the kitchen counter or a chair, and you're going to take your hand and you're going to push into the chair, push down towards the floor. I'm going to start up here. Push down into the floor. Make sure you've got good posture. You're not rounded forward here, nice and tall. Now walk out as I push down into the chair or into the counter. Push, push, push. Of course, if it's causing you pain, stop immediately. Push, 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 push. Keep pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. I like to bring my thumb to the ceiling so that I've got more space in my acromion space. Good. And walk it back in. Keep pushing my hand to the floor. Push, 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 push. My whole arm to the floor. Good. Yeah, that's a very, very important point. Whenever you take your arms up, you want to lead with your thumbs because that creates more space in this acromion space. Gives you more space for the head of the humerus to get out of the way. So we'll actually do this technique. I switched it at the end, but let's do it right from the get-go to be on the safe side. Okay, so thumb to the ceiling, nice tall posture, double chin, push down into the floor. You're either at your kitchen counter or you're on a chair. Push, push as you walk back. Now, as soon as you have pain, you're going to stop. And you're going to wait in that position, and hopefully maybe it resides, and then you can go a little further. But if it doesn't, then you just stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Push. I'm pushing down to the floor. Push down, 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 down. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Push down, down, down. Now, you might not be anywhere near my range of motion. This is the shoulder that I hurt in September golfing on a cold, wet day. Don't do that. Note to self. I'm a double-digit golfer. I've got to golf in at least 10 degrees above, and this was a cold, wet, dreary day. Keep pushing, 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 pushing. There. Okay, now let's recheck. Let's do the both arms. Palms to the ceiling, palms towards the camera. Palms to the ceiling. Palms towards you, or show the back of the hands, show the fronts of the hands. Good. In other words, in external rotation, internal rotation. How'd they feel? Hopefully a little bit more open. Let's do one more range of motion exercise, and then we'll get into some strength exercises. So you need to go to a wall for this. Okay, and maybe I will bring the camera closer so you can see. All right. Don't have a cameraman today, so we have to use the tripod. Because there's a couple exercises I want to do here against the wall. All right. Oops. There we go. All right. So you're going to use stick 'em up arms or goalpost arms, whatever you want to call them. But let's get our heels against the wall, and let's really press your back against the wall. If you have a little space in your low back for your neutral back, that's okay, but you don't want a whole lot of space. You really want to bring that, and if you have to take your feet out a little bit, that's okay, but eventually you want to get to the point that everything is against the wall. All right, so everything is against the wall. Really bring the chin back so that your neck is lengthening. Now take your arms like this. If you can, some people will be out like that. Some people will be like this with their wrists. Eventually you want to get flat like that. That would be the goal. Okay, I haven't done this one for a while, so I know that this one's going to be challenging for me too. And my injury is pretty much healed, but woo, I can feel this. Really give yourself a little bit of a pelvic tilt there. Again, not to totally take out the low back curve, but to really keep it as lengthened as possible. Now, if you're okay, keeping everything against the wall, keep the backs of the hands to the wall, keep the backs of the arms, make sure that that belly doesn't pop out like this. Everything stays in. Now breathe, double chin, and back down. Now, are you hiking? If you're hiking, that's not good. Only go as far as you don't hike. Say you hike on one side. Only go as high as you don't hike, as those scapula should be swinging outward and then up. You may want to do this in front of a mirror, with a mirror so that you can see. Maybe you can have a mirror that you can move so that you can be up against a wall and see yourself in the mirror. A couple more. Really lengthen, 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 and back down. Those are called wall angels. And you can feel the muscles through your mid-back and your scapula go, what? Now, staying with the wall, I think I'll try it this way and see if you can see me. If not, we might have to go sideways. But these are called, they're not a wall push-up, but I call them scapular depression retraction. So scapular push-ups, we'll call them that way. So I'm just letting my shoulders, my chest go through and then push away. Slowly go through and push away. Slowly go through and push away. Try. The chair might not be the best idea because it might slide. We'll see. I won't put all my weight down. So chest goes through. No, it's sliding, so that's not good. Maybe if I had it on a mat. Good. Chest goes through and back up. And I don't bend my elbows. That's key. So chest goes through, chest pushes away. Chest goes through, pushes away. Those are, that exercise is for the serratus anterior, which is so important to keep your scapula from winging off your back. And you'll know you have an issue with serratus anterior if you do push-ups or if you do planks, and you find that your scapula are winging, or you have to go into your plank like this with your head and your chest leading the way. If you're going to do a plank and lower, it should be like this, all right, rather than like that. So you'll know you have a weakness with serratus anterior if that's happening. So let's go back to shoulders now, and we'll get some strengthening exercises for that. Good. Now, I'm just going to show you a couple of the, just going to get the pole in here. You can use a pole or a doorknob if you have it. Now, I've got the rock tape out here to remind me that if you're dealing with an injury, and after I hurt my shoulder in September, I can check to see if there's any bones out, a rib out, or whatever, and I knew it was soft tissue. So I had my husband help me tape my shoulder. So rock tape is just a godsend, and we do sell this at cost here at the clinic, and there are instructions in it. I can tape you, I can teach your friend to tape you so that if you want to stay taped for a little while. I had to stay taped for quite a while for that injury to totally heal. The other thing that I'm a big proponent of is Young Living essential oils to help the healing process. Copaiba for inflammation, so I use that on a daily basis, or arnica if you have that. Panaway for pain if it's joint related, which the shoulder is, and of course Deep Relief to help with muscles if they're not very happy and they need some relaxation. There's also, I have it upstairs, a cream called Cool Azul that's great for pain. So I use these quite regularly during my shoulder injury. Now, so you want to start to, there's a nice balance you need between range of motion and strengthening of the shoulders. So this is a TheraBand, and we have these at the clinic, and if you are far away, then you probably can buy these at your local pharmacy, but we will provide you a TheraBand here at the clinic complimentary if you're a current patient. So this is a TheraBand here. This is probably the medium resistance. Yellow is light, then I think red, and then green. There's different colors, it doesn't matter. But we would make sure you would start off with the lightest. So you could tie this around the pole to do your exercises or your doorknob. Now I'm not going to use this, I'm going to show you with tubing. And I also have some of these for sale at the clinic here. They last a little bit longer than TheraBands, and they're nice to have. We're going to start with yellow, and then eventually you can go to green. I don't have any green ones for sale at the clinic. Right now I do have some yellow ones, but I think you could probably get them on Amazon. So again, you could tuck this, you could tie this if you want. I'm going to just hold it, and you can start start the exercise with single by just holding one side and doing single. And when that got easy, you could do double. And then you know you're probably ready for green. So the first exercise we're going to do is shoulder extension. So your knees are soft, your feet are in short foot. Remember, short foot is the base of the metatarsal arch, or the base of the toes is pulled towards the heel. Nice and tall, core control, not sucked in but just tightened. Chest lifted, double chin, lengthen the back of the neck, and push straight back. Now again, if double yellow is too much, you're going to hold single. Push straight back. Good. Chest lifted. Make sure you're not poking. Let's see if I can get my hair out of the way. Make sure you're not poking your head as you're doing this. That your form is good. And also, you're not squeezing your shoulder blades together. If you lift your chest and keep your core control, your shoulder blades will go exactly where they're supposed to go. We need them mobile. Okay, so you would do about 10 to 20 reps. And if you can't make it to 10, that's fine. Then you go to the other side and the same thing. Chest lifted, double chin, short foot, core control, push straight back. Again, if double is too much, you'll do single. Perfect. Breathing. Shoulder extension, straight arm back. Palm faces, so you're not pushing back like that, you're pushing back like this. Again, to open up space in the glenohumeral joint. Now, you probably can feel which one is weaker, and more than likely, it's your injured side that's weaker. So once you've determined which side is weak, you don't want to just do that side. And what I always recommend is weak, strong, weak. So for me, it was this side. This is the side that was weaker because this is the side that I injured, but it might be different for you. So I'm going to do that side again, but I wouldn't leave out the other side. So weak, strong, weak. And eventually when you can't really tell the difference, good for you, just do a couple sets on each side. Excellent. Beautiful. Nice. Okay. Now the next one is called external rotation. The key is to keep your wrists straight. And we've even here at the clinic been so particular with this that we put a pen down someone's watch, inside their watch, so that they can't do this with their wrist. All right, you want to keep that wrist straight. The other thing that you might want to do is put a book under your arm. You can if you want, and just externally rotate. So that where you'll end up having trouble is right there. The wrist will start to take over, the elbow will lift. You want to keep the elbow glued to the body or squeezing into a book. Let me see if I can find a book here to demonstrate. Yeah, no, I moved those books. I thought I had book. Oh, here, I've got the gardening pad. We'll use the gardening pad. Okay, so I'm going to take this gardening pad, which is quite big, but in a pinch it'll work. Or a small book. Okay, I need to push that back a little bit. Here we go. Good. Now squeezing that pad or a book into my rib cage, keeping my wrist straight. Short foot, core control, lengthen the back of the neck. There we go. Excellent. And then I would switch to the other side, which I'm going to end up being out of camera. I'm going to have to, I'll go sideways. I don't want to put my back to you. I'll just do it this way. All right, so now I've got the other side, and I'm making sure that my wrist is not bending. Again, you can tie the tube or the TheraBand to the pole or to the doorknob. Good. Keep the wrist straight. Keep squeezing your elbow into your body against that book. Just a little paperback book underneath your elbow. Good. And then you're going to go back to your weak side. So again, weak, strong, weak. And this is my weaker side. My goodness, I need to do these. Yes, I do. Keep that wrist straight. The wrist is going to try to trick you. It's going to try to extend. There you go. And you go to fatigue or 10 to 12 repetitions. Again, nice and tall, core connected, short foot. There you go. Nice. And that's it. Those are the two basic exercises. You can do internal rotation too if you want. and that is just bringing it across. Most people don't have a problem with internal rotation. It's usually external rotation, but you could give this one a check and see if that's weak and has problems. Go here so we can get full range. There we go, that's better. Again, keep the wrist straight. You bring it across your body, across your body, across your body. Good, and I'll do the other side. I'll turn this way so I don't have my back to you. Across, oh, you know what? I feel this one weak. So that tells me, make sure you do this one as well. I've always got to put internal rotation on the side because I've always found that it's always external rotation, but in my case, I'm a little bit weak with this one. Lovely, lovely. Good. And if you wanted to do a lateral raise, you could, but lead with your thumb. Lead with your thumb. Core connected. Core connected. Short foot. Chest lifted. Excellent. Make sure if your shoulder's hiking, Good. Nice. And again, the other side. Lead with your thumb. Now I'll go back on so you can see. Lead with your thumb. Core connection. Good. And as the other one, you would do your weak side twice. And if they're both pretty equal, you could do 2 sets each side or 1 set fatigue to fatigue. Whatever works. All right? So that's more of a rehabilitation routine for your shoulders. There are so many other shoulder exercises. But just as a precaution, if you are doing other classes, one thing that I would avoid is upright rows because it forces you an internal rotation. Another one that I see quite often is upright row, rotate, shoulder press. The benefit does not outweigh the burden that it could place on the shoulders. So just avoid those ones. So upright rows we avoid, any rotations we avoid, and then I've also seen this kind of thing, you know, staying at the shoulder level, internal rotation, external rotation. There's not a huge benefit there, and the burden of shoulder impingement is really high. All right, so doing a lot of exercises here at shoulder height, maybe not the best. Things like this, people say, oh, we're working our chest and you've got dumbbells in your hands. No, you're not. You're actually working your shoulders because dumbbells work against gravity. If you were lying on your back and doing that, well, that's a different thing. Or if you were in a machine, or if you were using a tube, again, a different story. So again, that's shoulders, sensational shoulders. It's more of the rehab approach for sensational shoulders. We might add some more strength. You'll see some strength exercises in our classes for shoulders if you want to take it to the next level. All right, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.